Mr. Morrow Bay, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, this is file 21213ST. It's entitled People versus Samuel R. Perdue, who refers to himself as Samir Siraj Morrow Bay. His mother named him Samuel R. Perdue. Mr. Perdue, you got another ticket for driving with a suspended license. Second offense, that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. You're also charged with speeding. I'm assuming you're going to plead not guilty to both of those?
No, of course not. I'm innocent, and my name is not Mr. Perdue, so I would appreciate if you didn't call me Mr. Perdue.
I'm just going to test off the judge for you.
All right. Well,
Mr.
Morrow, let me tell you this. Stop. Yeah, you're from some alternate universe where you don't have to obey the laws of
No,
the
you
state.
don't respect the law, sir.
Stop. If you drive again here in St. Joe County, I'm going to set your butt at $10,000.
And also,
I'm going to
lie
set this.
to you. You see this? Are you looking? I was forced to get this license. I don't want it, but as you can see, your officer is a liar.
Well, what's the name on that? Is that Samuel Perdue or Mr. Morrow Bay?
Well, I'm forced to do this. Anything I do with y'all is under threat, duress, and coercion.
So every
time I travel, clearly,
all right, you have
your commercial mercenaries keep pulling me over.
You have a driver's license?
Because your commercial mercenaries continue to pull me over, and they won't leave me alone.
Well, stop driving. At least stay out of.
I don't drive. I travel.
All right. Traveling is one thing. Driving is another. You can travel all you want. All right, but let me make this
that's
clear.
What I'm doing, and they won't let me travel. They won't let me travel on my own land. And you're violating the law, and you know it.
Violating the law.
Well, one of us is.
He's definitely violating the law, and anybody who needs to know anything about the law,
slow down for a minute. That license you held up, is it a valid Michigan driver's license?
Is it a valid Michigan driver's license? Well, I was forced to go to your Secretary of State because you guys won't let me travel on my own land. That's as valid as it is. What's really valid is my nationality that you keep denying. So you're denying me due process, and you know it.
Well, you haven't been convicted of anything yet. I'm just telling you, if you continue to keep driving on some cockamamie thing, you're behind the wheel of a car. Give me this BS about traveling versus driving. I'm just telling you right now, you heard it here. Right. If you drive again in St. Joseph County and you get another ticket, I'm going to set a very high bond. You can sit in jail for 28 days until we sort this out. You're presumed to be innocent of the charges that you're charged with, and you've exercised your constitutional right to plead not guilty.
No, I didn't plead not guilty. You said that. I said I'm innocent.
All right, fair enough. We'll set this for a last pre-trial.
That's the black guy.
Are you still at 312 North Sage Street, apartment 302?
North America is my domicile. You can send whatever information you want to that address. That is fine.
All right.
Very smart.
So any judge who does not comply with this oath of office to the Constitution of the United States wars against the Constitution and engages in acts.
All right, I'm going to mute your microphone. I don't want to hear this crazy nonsensical thing. I'm setting you for a last pretrial. We'll pick a date and I'll send it to you in the mail. I don't expect it'll settle the case. You already have one case set for a jury trial. We'll probably set both of these for a jury trial. I will give you credit. You always log in a timely manner, which I appreciate. I'll give you a new notice. It'll be on a Thursday afternoon. We're going to skip the regular pretrial and just go right to the last pretrial. I expect it to be set for a jury trial. All I'm telling you is stop driving. stop in St. Joseph County. All right, sir, you're good to go. Good afternoon, sir. I'll call you by your preferred name, Mr. Morrow Bay. This is Judge Middleton. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
All right, we're waiting just a bit for the prosecutor to log in.
Understood.
He was with us just a bit ago. He should be right back.
Sweet, sweet.
Mr. Perdue, we are live, even though we're not doing anything here. We're live on YouTube and live on the Zoom platform. As soon as Casey Johnson from Prosecutor comes in, we'll conduct our business.
That's not my name.
Well, I know you're known to the Secretary of State by your birth name, but you prefer to be known as Samir Siraj Morrow Bay. And
I'm a national of Atlanta.
I
I declare my
understand.
nationality. But I thought, did you take an oath to this?
Did
To
I?
uphold the Constitution? Yeah, to uphold the Constitution
Oh, yes.
and the treaties.
I don't know about treaties. Those are federal. This is state law.
I know. This is, I shouldn't even be here. I should be somewhere federal. I should be in a federal courtroom, and you still haven't provided any delegation of authority order.
Well, wait a minute till the prosecutor gets here and you can go through. You've said this stuff on each previous case.
I know, and I'm still waiting for my delegation of authority order. I'm still waiting. I never got it in the mail. That's Article 3, Section 2. You took an oath to this. You know it. I shouldn't even be here.
You could fix that. You could stop driving a damn car and then you wouldn't keep coming here and you wouldn't have to deal with me and I wouldn't have to deal with you, which would
But a
make both
driver,
of us.
but isn't driving a commercial terminology?
No.
It's
In
not.
your universe, maybe it is, but in this one, it's
But
covered
according-
by Michigan Motor Vehicle Code.
So what about Black's Law Dictionary? Does that not
Well, as
count?
far as I know, that doesn't control Michigan traffic legislation.
And as far as I know, you can't make up rules to undermine the Constitution. And no matter what rules or codes you make up, it doesn't supersede the law.
Here comes Mr. Johnson. I don't disagree with that. One of us keeps making up rules, but I don't think it's me. Mr. Johnson?
I'm pretty sure it is.
All right, well, let me call the case. This is file 21213ST. The actual title on the ticket is People versus Samuel Rufus Perdue. The defendant is here. He prefers to be known as Samir Siraj Morrow Bay. I don't think he ever lawfully changed his name, but he goes by that name, and he has every time he's been here. He's charged once again with driving suspended second offense. It's alleged that on or about January 31st, he was operating a vehicle here in St. Joseph County while his license was suspended. He also got a ticket for speeding, so he tends to go too fast, always doesn't have insurance, and he doesn't have a license. He has two previous cases already pending. File 202073 is a driving suspended charge from September 17th. He liked that one so much, he got another one on November 25th. I think one or both of those cases he was speeding. That's file 2026653. Mr. Morrow Bay has a different view of the law. He wants to represent himself, which I've allowed, and we had agreed to set those two earlier cases for jury trial. As we discussed earlier, sir, I can't
represent myself.
Excuse me?
I said, I'm sorry, I can't represent myself. I am who I am.
All right, but you don't wish to have a lawyer, is that correct?
Oh, no, I don't need one.
All right. Well, now you have your third driving suspended charge, and I told you last time, if you did another one of these, I was gonna set a bond, but I'm not going to. Let me tell you this right now.
I'm a
If you
traveler,
drive-
not a driver, for the
Yes,
record. If,
we're
and for the
all
record,
travelers in this universe. At any rate, you haven't been convicted of anything. You've been accused 3 times, but you do not
falsely
have
accused.
lawful authority to drive in Michigan. If you drive again in St. Joe County, I'm going to set a bond, and you'll either post it or sit in jail while we await the ability to try your case. I can only leave you in jail for 28 days. But am I understanding once again, sir, you wish to have a jury trial on this matter?
For my national peers, because I'm a national of the land, and you still haven't proven jurisdiction. I challenged jurisdiction a long time ago, and it's never been proven, and I'm still waiting.
All right, I had that discussion with a guy that was in jail once. I said, well, you're in jail, I guess you're in my jurisdiction. Let me tell you this, my jurisdiction is St. Joe County, and stop driving in it.
I don't drive. I'm a traveler by law, and I've already sent you paperwork, and you never responded.
Well, because I'm not required to respond to it. You've got a skewed view of things. If this was this easy, everybody would declare themselves their own country and everybody could do whatever they wanted to. So
Well,
the
this is Morocco.
rules only apply to you.
No,
The rest of
it
us
applies.
suckers are stuck complying with the law. So let's just figure out who the witnesses are, and we'll also set this
For the
for a
land.
jury. Casey, who have you got for witnesses?
Just a second, Judge. I'm sorry. 22. I had his other files open.
Only here special appearance, only because I have to. Because if I don't be here, you're going to send your criminals to come get me if I'm not here. So I'm only here under threat, duress, and coercion.
Well,
Just to
and
put that out there.
you're sitting in the driver's seat of your car. Now, I'm letting you wear your headgear because I think it's part of your beliefs, so I'm not going to push it. But you're sitting in the damn driver's seat. What's the witnesses?
Jesse Raymond, Your Honor. That's it.
Oh, the so-called police officer who pulled me over is a witness also?
And a certified driving record.
Isn't that a conflict of interest right there?
No.
Don't he work for the court?
He doesn't work for the court. The court's in the judicial branch. He's in the executive branch. Plus, you keep driving too fast. So you're a traveler. You get to travel whatever speed you feel like. You don't have to have insurance, and you can do what you want. All right. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna set this on the jury list with the other 2 cases. And let me say this again: if you drive again and you get another citation, I'm gonna set a $1,000 cash bond, and you can sit in jail. So my strong advice is stay out of St. Joseph County.
So you do realize
you're already driving there. So I'm gonna mute your microphone, and I'll set this for a jury trial on a date to be determined. All right, that completes that record.
Convert a liberty into a privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it, right? You do know that, right?
I don't make the law. I just try to apply it. All right, we'll set this for a jury trial the next date.
Your statutes and your codes are not the law.
That's an argument that has no end. If we live to be 112, we could continue to have this argument. He wants a jury trial, he's entitled to have one, and we'll get there when we can get there. All right. Mr. Kaufman, I'll be with you in just a moment. Mr. Perdue, you're good to go. We'll set this for jury trial with your
My name
other
is Samir
cases
Bey. I thought I already told you
at
that.
some time. Yeah, you told me that. All right, thank you. I'll be in
You don't
touch.
respect the law. You're a criminal.
Well, one of us is.
Thank you.
Halloween reference? Amok, amok, amok.
What's that?
It's a Halloween reference. Amok, 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 amok. Right? It's not from.
Witches?
I should know this. God, I'm a terrible parent. Hocus Pocus, right?
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I said witch, Hocus Pocus, yes.
Hocus Pocus. I'm pretty sure that is the line from that. I haven't yet watched that with my kids.
Benchmark.
Probably should.
Paul, I don't know what to say. We're about to start Samuel Perdue, which may take us a while. But if you Yeah, Mr. Perdue's cases are set at 3:15, and 3:30. Thank you. Deborah, we're going to have to wait all the way until 3:30. He's got 3 different notice times.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, we're off like our proverbial herd of turtles. What have we actually accomplished so far? Not much. 1 adjournment, 1 sentence, 1 plausibly no-show.
Yeah, we're not really knocking it out of the park today, so maybe next week.
Well, let's see what happens with Mr. Perdue here. That's the only case that's set for trial on that day.
Yeah.
If he doesn't appear, will be bench warrants. I guess that was my own fault for logging, referring these at 3 separate times.
You probably anticipated a lot of language and talking and.
They did. Okay. Well, stick around for 15 more minutes and we'll see whether we have any more business. Well, he did not appear at 3. He did not appear at 3:15. We need to let the clock tick till 3:30, and that was probably a mistake from the court to set it that way. Should have set them all for the same time. 10 minutes more of tedium. Well, I'm thinking he isn't going to show up. We have to let the clock tick. 6 more minutes. Deborah, why don't you come back and we'll make a record on Mr. Perdue. This says 3 matters based on defendant's alleged driving on varying occasions. They're entitled People versus Samuel Perdue, also known as Samir Siraj Maro Bey. The first case is 202653 that alleges driving suspended, false or forged operator's license alleged to have occurred on November 25th of 2020. That matter is set for jury trial on November 8th.
10th, I think.
10th. There was also a speeding charge, I think, that accompanied that. Then in file 202073, Mr. Perdue is again charged with driving suspended second offense for alleged driving of September 17th of 2020. That pretrial is set for 3:30. The defendant is not here. File 21213 is charged as driving suspended first offense, for reasons I don't understand, and false or forged license, and a civil infraction of speeding. The defendant is not here. These matters were noticed out at 3:15, and 3:30. So we just spent a half an hour of our life that we won't be able to get back sitting here waiting for Mr. Perdue to appear. prosecutor has filed a motion to join all three of these driving suspended charges into one single trial under the theory that this is connected as a part of a continued scheme to falsify identification and avoid being required to obtain a driver's license, since his privileges are presently suspended. I am disappointed. I was hopeful he would be here and we could make some progress on this. Mr. Perdue wishes to represent himself. He's declined several offers from me to appoint counsel for him, and he's his own attorney. He's been here on a number of previous occasions for arraignments and pretrials. The matter was set for jury trial, as I mentioned, in about 10 days. I set this matter as a sort of status review. It's been some time since these cases were before the court to see if there was a settlement, see if it was going in, see if the defendant's going to show up. I don't really want to bring in 40 jurors on a jury trial morning for the defendant not to appear. So he's failed to appear here. I'm going to issue a bench warrant in each of the three driving suspended charges with bonds set at $1,000 cash or surety, with a 48-hour hold, which I think is required by statute. Mr. Perdue has a number of entries on his driving record, and it's full of FCJs, which stands for failure to comply with judgment. So he has this theory that he should be able to drive without being licensed by the state of Michigan, and his behavior simply indicates he feels he can do what he wants. Well, he can't. One of the things he has to do is show up for his trial. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant on each of the three cases. Ms. Davis, unless we hear something by November 1st, you're not required to subpoena or to summon. The subpoenas are probably already out, but obviously we're going to call off the jury for that day unless we hear from or arrest the defendant before that time.
Your Honor, because there was some dash cam that came in just a few days ago, and we're close to the date of trial, and I did file that motion, would the court consider using the trial date as a date to hear the motion? We mailed a copy to his last known address. I'm not sure if it's the correct address, but we could certainly do a notice of hearing for the motion for that morning.
Don't do that yet, because then he'll think, well, I had a date to appear and I didn't appear. So if he does appear, it's very unlikely we're going to have a jury trial on this on November the 10th.
Well, and that's where my concern is it's unfair to him to not have the discovery information, but I'm hesitant to send out information to an address that I'm not sure if it's his. It's an apartment complex. We've had two different addresses at this, which I think is the same apartment complex throughout the pendency of this case. So I don't want these videos going to the wrong person.
All right, well, hold on to them for now.
Okay.
And if and when we obtain his person, we can address some of those issues. But I'm disappointed that he isn't here. As it turns out, we probably weren't going to be able to do a jury trial anyway. I hate to squander that day, which it looks like it's going to happen. Okay, Jordan Yancey is here with us. Anyway, three bench warrants on Mr. Perdue, $1,000 cash or surety, 48-hour hold. Defendant is not represented by counsel. If he does get this message by YouTube or otherwise, he's to immediately contact the court. All right. Thank you. I think Jordan said she'd like to be appointed as advisory counsel.
I think she did too. Did a really good job for her.
It'll be a learning experience. John Lennon, I don't know who I think said that. Half the battle is showing up. Life is about showing up. Hello, Jordan.
Hey. Yeah.
You weren't listening, I don't think, but we thought it would be, you might be a good appointment as advisory counsel.
Yeah, I heard.
That's why she stayed unconnected. All right, well, and ascension by silence.
I know, I think that is actually, there's something to that.
Acquiescence, that's the word I was searching for.
Yes.
I would just ask the court to take judicial notice of my current docket before making such appointments.
It is. All right, that finishes a kind of an odd day. All right, this will be a struggle. And the rest of you, thank you for your patience. I'm going to bring in Mr. iPhone, see who this is. Mr. McNair, I know you're there, so stay with me. Mr. Henny and Holly Morgan is here. All right, we've got quite a few cases left to do. I'm going to stop the record and restart it here for a moment. I'm going to make a record on some cases. Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office. Samuel R. Perdue, who also is known as Samir Morrow Bay, is here today. He has 3 separate driving suspended charges that were scheduled for jury trial. File 21213ST alleges driving suspended second offense on January 31st, 2021 here in St. Joseph County. File 202073 alleges driving suspended on September 17th here in St. Joseph County. I think there may be a speeding charge with that. File 202653 also charges driving suspended second offense and forgery and speeding. All of those matters were scheduled for jury trial today, November 10th. Mr. Morrow Bay wishes to represent himself on these matters. He has a perspective on the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code that disagrees with the state's version of it, but he didn't want an attorney and didn't wish to have representation. He wanted to represent himself in all of these matters. So we treated him like an attorney. We set the matter for a final pretrial to prepare for jury trial. And he didn't show up. So there are presently 3 arrest warrants for Mr. Morrow Bay's arrest for failing to appear for duly scheduled last pretrials about 3 weeks ago. We don't show up on the morning of trial with a basket full of papers and inconvenience 30 to 50 jurors who have to come in and hear your case and several witnesses without preparing for it. So we scheduled a pretrial conference and you didn't show up. So I've called off the jurors for today and the prosecutor has called off all the witnesses. And there are currently 3 separate warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. But you're here now.
I think I was unaware.
We sent that to the address that you gave us. And if you're representing yourself, you need to act like you're representing yourself. We sent you duly notice to your Sage Street address in Kalamazoo. The same notice you got for this.
I don't live there anymore, and I can't represent myself. I am myself.
All right, well, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know that you moved. So, Mr. McNair, you're driving me crazy. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. You're walking all over the place and flashing the screen and giving me vertigo, and you're sideways and upside down. And so I'll be with you in a bit. Don't go away. Yes, that's your position. Then you're not doing a very good job of it. because you didn't tell me where you lived. You didn't show up for a pretrial while we prepared for this. And now you come rolling in with a hat on the morning that your 30 or 40 jurors are supposed to be here. That's not a very good way to do business.
It's my religious headdress. I'm a Moorish American national.
Yes, I recall. All right.
Proven jurisdiction to begin with.
Ms. Davis is here
I'm still waiting for
on
jurisdiction.
behalf of the prosecutor's office. Ms. Davis, do you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, I would ask that he be held in contempt for failing to appear at the last pretrial. I would also ask that an order enter regarding discovery if all of these items that he's holding on to are intended to be used as exhibits at the trial. I would like to have copies of those so that we can be prepared. Also, I'd like to have our motion for joinder of the cases heard so we can settle that matter prior to choosing the jury and having another date set.
Right in the middle of my busy arraignment morning when I have 14 people waiting to be arraigned, that probably won't work out too good.
If we
But
get
it's
an
all on
updated
him.
address.
He didn't show up. He also got notice of your motion. Mr. Morrow Bay, do you have documents that you were going to present as part of your defense?
I mean, I mailed in documents and I never got a response.
Well, did you have some? Do you have some you wish to present?
Well, I mailed in an affidavit to you more than once, and this is also my legal notice for my lawful name change. Because I put it on the record that I'm a Moorish American national and I'm not American or a U.S. citizen, excuse me. I'm a man of the land. I'm native to the land. So so a lot of these rules that the state of Michigan is creating is not applicable to me, unfortunately. And I was trying to be respectful to the court and let the court know since the beginning in a respectful manner. And I have lots of documentation to prove it.
All right. I want you to take Mr. Perdue into custody. We're going to execute the 3 bench warrants that are currently out for his arrest for contempt. We'll take him to jail and we'll make an arrangement later to discuss.
Are you arresting me right now? Wow.
I don't have time to do it now. Thank you. Bye. Mr. Perdue, you're going to jail, the St. Joe County Jail here in St. Joe County, and I'm going to hold on to you in lieu of 3 $1,000 bonds till we can review your contempt and the other things we need to deal with. But if you're going to represent yourself, you need to do it right. You need to show up when you're supposed to show up. You need to follow the rules of evidence and procedure. You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country, I'm going to do what I want. So you're going to jail.
I was unaware.
The bond is $1,000 per file, and I will talk with you later. So right now you're going to the St. Joe County Jail. All right, we'll deal with him, Deborah, when we have more time. But he's clearly in contempt. And he is his own person, so he isn't representing himself. He is himself. We'll see if we can sort that out.